Yo, guys, I want to keep this one short and sweet, but really, I want to talk about the biggest mistake because people are making mistakes. Then the market has run, and you be like, shit, that was it. Right? And it's not bad to make mistakes, but don't keep on making the same one. So, welcome to the FOMO Factory, Blockchain Decoded. Like the video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. And what I tweeted right here, it goes without saying, maybe, but try to apply it. That's a different thing, right? Also, I have to sell like half of my crypto. I'll talk about that real quick, just as transparency, whatever. But big lesson, do not FUD the lows, right? And again, it sounds obvious, but we all saw it all over again this cycle. And that's really the thing. At the moment, for example, that Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair was sitting at these levels during the merge, right? People were like, Ethereum. It went down. It was ETH. And at the bottom, it was screw ETH. ETH's dead, right? And what happens at the lows? Bam, right? Again, I keep on saying this, but I think that this is more valuable than the top 10, whatever coins, or this, or that, or whatever. Sentiment and emotions, counter trade them or ignore them, and that's all you need in this market to do well, right? That's it, because people love to FUD it here, right? And at this point, people are like, ETH to 15K, like, okay, whatever. In reality, a lot of coins already 10x'd or more from the bear market lows, and we haven't even seen anything close to an alt season yet, right? But yet, people are like, when it's gonna happen? It's different. It has been happening. And it has been happening. So if you didn't get anything out of this market, sounds a little cruel, but it is what it is. You should look at the mistakes you made instead of how bad or different this market cycle is, because it obviously isn't, and your biggest enemy is your own emotion. Right? If you are waiting for like, well, when is it going to go up? Well, it is actually, if you look at Bitcoin, just the most boring piece of crap in this crypto market, right? Bitcoin has done an 8x. Right? But the problem is here, Bitcoin is of course boring and altcoins are more spectacular. So people, they choose to not buy Bitcoin here and they buy alts and they write it down. And by the time that they come to the realization that Bitcoin was the better play, they are in Bitcoin, while in fact by then alts are the better play, right? The market is doing fine. The market is doing fantastic. There are coins that overperform. There are coins that outperform, underperform. But overall, Bitcoin is mooning. Ethereum is now mooning. And a lot of alts are mooning as well, right? And yeah, it's about how you position yourself in that case. If you look at a Cardano, for example, very, very boring coin as well, right? But if you look at the market cycle lows right here until the highest pump, it did a 5.5x. Right? Now, it's not as good as Bitcoin, but again, that we haven't even seen an alt season. So it would be also exceptional if Cardano would have outperformed Bitcoin, right? Because if you look at the total altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, okay, the alt season chart, it looks like this, right? And of course, it's like, oh, bear market, boring, goes down, it's dead, right? That's the sentiment. But then where do you buy? Are you now going to wait for whatever it goes, right? This to happen and be like, yeah, let's get into alts. Right. The altcoin market hasn't outperformed Bitcoin yet. That doesn't make it dead or different. It just makes it like more the same, and that's the opportunity that we have right now, right? Alts are overall doing quite well. Right? If you look at a Superverse, right, it did a 32x. Even one of the most high cap coins out there, an AVAX, did a 8x. And there's coins like Doge, also like Dogecoin would, right? From the bear market low, it did a 10x. right? And then we have some outperformers like Solana, right? Did a whatever 36x, right? And then we have the more boring coins again, like Chainlink, underperforming a little bit, 6.5x. Overall, coins are up, and they are up quite a bit already, right? Now, let's put that in perspective then, because is it now time to say like, well, let's get out? Well, if I look at a Chainlink, I will be a little careful at this specific moment, by the way, but that's me, right? But is it time now to get out? In my opinion, I don't think so. And if you look at the total altcoin market, it has been in a bull market, of course, and it's slow but steady. The overall altcoin market, excluding stable coins, has done a 6x, right? Nothing spectacular yet, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen, right? If you look at this market right here and you take it as a 6x, right? That's kind of this point, right? Also, nothing spectacular, but then it was ripping, right? I'm not saying that this will repeat, but I am saying like, hey, it's obviously a bull market. It's not a bear market, right? So let's be bullish. Let's be bullish, right? But turn down your emotion. Turn it off. If we look at like, if you may ask like, okay, so I get it. I am bullish. All good. But what to buy then? Depends, of course, on your risk reward, right? If you feel like I just want a 2x, I would not go into low cap altcoins. Of course not, right? Like, why would you take more risk for a 2x? But if I look at Bitcoin, I'm like, shall we buy Bitcoin now? So I'm not going to open a Bitcoin chart for that. Like, how am I going to see where Bitcoin might go or how it's doing compared to the rest of the market, right? I don't see that on this chart. I could put some fib retracement and nonsense over it. And, you know, if I look at Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, I'm like, hey, I can see a little more, right? I can see, again, that Ethereum was underperforming against Bitcoin like it does in every cycle, right? Find the bottom and then goes up. Same right now. This market, and that's the beautiful thing about it, because I still get sometimes like comments like Ethereum pump, but when others, right, the altcoin market, if Bitcoin goes down, alts could be new low. I'm like, do they? Right? One, of course, it depends. If Bitcoin goes down, it still depends on what altcoins will do against Bitcoin, right? If altcoins stay flat or go down against Bitcoin, then alts will go down, right? But if alts outperform Bitcoin because people, for example, take money out of Bitcoin, which makes it go down, and put it into alts, which makes it go up, yeah, then alts are a fine play, and it doesn't really matter what Bitcoin does, right? We haven't seen our alt season yet. Why not? What's the reason? Depends what triggers alt season. And I think we are all in this cycle trying to find that out, right? I think nobody really has the answer to that. We could say it has to do with the balance sheet. We could say it has to do something with the rate cuts. It has to do something with the general macro risk on off environment. It has something to do with the seasonality. We'll find out maybe this cycle, right? To be honest, I cannot give you a sure answer to that, right? But it is clear that it is going to happen because we already see the rotation, right? The rotation happened. Money got pumped into Bitcoin. People missed out on Bitcoin because they were putting money in alts. At the highs of the Bitcoin dominance, people said, you should be in Bitcoin. Then the dominance for Bitcoin goes down. ETH is running. People at the bottom of ETH bearish. Now that ETH is like at new all-time highs, people are bullish. And then where that money flows. This cycle is, time-wise, it's always a little different. But other than that, it's a fucking duplicate of the last cycles, right? It's all playing out again. And you might feel like, hey, but how could it be that easy? Well, apparently it isn't that easy because everybody always believes that it is different. And although it is playing out the same, people still don't ride it, right? Because they try to outsmart the market. It is what it is. The amount of comments that I got on the channel that alts are dead, ETH is dead, Bitcoin cycle only, off the charts, right? Now let's evaluate. We are not even into a full-blown alt season or anything yet. But let's just take a look. Bitcoin dominance on the quarter chart. Look at this. This is not a correction. This is obviously more than that. Down 10.7% this quarter. Last time that happened was in April 2021, 4.5 years ago. It broke every piece of support in basically 2 candles, right? 1 candle depends what time frame you take it, right? It is showing like, hey, here we go again, right? Now, I want to see how the month plays out. But if you look at the 9-month moving average, you see that it got dragged up by it really well, right? And it just like straightly crashed right through it without a sweat. Now, we still have a week to go, right? So it might go up there again. But if not, then that for me confirms the reversal. And then to me, by the end of August, when August is over, I can now tell like, hey, the reversal is confirmed for me. The Bitcoin rally is officially done with. I am now, if I look at this, you know, it's already pretty obvious, but that would be the final confirmation. Short term, you know, huge support right here. So what could happen, right? It could happen that the 9 moving average, you know, now goes down because the dominance is now down, right? And that it, instead of getting dragged up by it, now bounce, rejection, bounce, rejection, bounce, and then bam. And I think that the Bitcoin dominance could go to 42% this cycle, right? That's the trend so far. This is not like, what a coincidence that it got rejected here, here, oh, and here. 3 times makes trend, right? That's what it is. So for me, it's obvious like, hey, don't be in Bitcoin now. Short term, whatever. Longer term, how much time do we have then? Right, in case we want to get an alt season, but it's already almost September, and cycle, you know, the cycle says that it should be over soon. There was never an alt season that lasted longer than 4 months anyway, right? And that the cycle topped out always at the end of the post-halving year, right? It's something to definitely keep in consideration. But it's not written in stone that it has to, right? We don't have that many data points. It could also be that it has to do a lot with the macro, because the macro overall topped out around that area. But now the whole macro thing has moved to the right, right? So now there's a camp like, crypto is seasonal for no reason, just like this is the time, the moment, and then it goes down. Whatever, bam, that's it, right? And there's the camp like, well, there's also macro. So it could go to a little longer in this case, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. I want to consider like there's more than the 4-year cycle, but I also don't want to make the classic mistake, say like, oh, this time it's going to take longer, and it just, you know, goes down in November, December, January, right? I also don't want to be there. So for me, it's like I set my goals, which I think are realistic, and once I achieve them, I just get out, right? Doesn't matter what I think the cycle is going to do. Because what if I have my goals reached? I don't lock them in, I round trip it, and yeah, you don't want that. Right? So what I think it's the best play right now, yeah, look. ETH, look, okay, so ETH on its Bitcoin pair is running, right? But we got in at the fucking bottom, like at the literal. Watch my video at the beginning of April. Like that was such the love. Blah, 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 I'm so proud of us, right? Beautiful. So instead of going in now, dude, I made it 3x in this move right here. I'm already taking profits. I'm not thinking about buying. I'm already taking money out of ETH. Right? I have a free ETH back already, easy, right? So I'm not gonna buy ETH right now. Although I think it could go higher, it doesn't matter. Depends on where you get in and what your goal is, right? Not where you think it could go. That's way too speculative, right? We don't know. So ETH is not it for me. Is it Bitcoin? Well, yeah, nah. Look, Bitcoin dominance kind of showing like, oh, fuck, it's over for me this cycle, right? Like, it could have short-term bounces, right? Like to 62% even maybe or whatever. But overall, over. If you look at alts on the Ethereum pair, here you go. I made a video like 1-2 weeks ago where I said like, hey, I'm buying alts with ETH at 0.56 or 7, something like, well, somewhere here, right? 50% as a DCA. You might be like, it's now lower. Bam, you wrecked, right? Therefore you DCA, of course. I think that overall, if you buy around this area and you sell around this area, and you buy here and you sell here, you do fine, right? What if it now goes here, which I think it could and likely will actually? Well, that's fine. Because if it eventually also goes up and you will look back, if we are here and you will look back at this area, you'll be like, wasn't overall a bad trade, right? Did you catch the bottom? No. But I don't attempt that, right? I DCA and that's it for me, right? So alts are a way better play than ETH at the moment, right? Again, short term, maybe not, right? Could go lower, but again, the could is very important. If you are Dutch, you feel like, yeah, it is. I have too much fun. Okay, so the could is very important, right? But the people that are not Dutch be like, dude, what's so funny about this? People that are Dutch probably also do it. Are you 12? Yeah. So alts are obviously the better play than ETH, right? ETH and Bitcoin, kind of in the middle. What about alts on the Bitcoin pair? Again, here you go. I mean, look, this is, if you reverse the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is kind of what you get, right? Give or take. On the weekly time frame, by the way, alts are now above the 50 weekly moving average, but we still have a long day to go, so we'll find out. They're above the 9 weekly moving average as well, which is a good sign. But, you know, more important, this level right here, again, bam, there they went, right? Alts 2.6 on their Bitcoin pair. That's good enough for me. Right, this whole area of like let's say 4 and 2.8, they bounce off 2.6. Imagine people really waiting for it to go here. Because if it doesn't exactly go here, then I'm not like, okay, what if it doesn't go there? Are you prepared to miss out, or are you gonna FOMO in at the highs? What you gonna do? What's the game plan? I'd have a game plan. Alts on the Bitcoin pair, they have 2 green months in a row. Last time that happened was November 2023. It was 1.5 years ago. Well, almost 2 years. Right? Looking actually very well. Alts, yeah, it's a different chart actually. But altcoin dominance, right? This, to me, it's very simple. It shows like, hey, there's strength right now, right? Same as the other chart that I just showed. There's strength, but there's also opportunity, right? And that's a combination. You don't just want to buy strength, because then you buy Bitcoin now, for example. That's cool, but where's the opportunity, right? You also don't just want to buy the opportunity. Do we have an opportunistic example right here? Because if you only buy opportunity, then I don't know, is this a good example? Yeah. Then you buy such a chart, for example. Great opportunity, but where's the confirmation? Where's like the strength, right? It's not there. You want to find, in my opinion, a good combination between those two. So that's how I'm looking at the market right now. You really don't want to look. Somewhere got a comment. Yeah, someone said, "What if there will be no alt season because you guys are selling off every pump we get?" If you don't take the profit, somebody else will. So what's stopping you from taking profits? Well, probably because a lot of people, maybe you as well, don't have profits to take. Why don't you have profits? Because you do not buy when things are low. Because again, also my channel, but a lot of like the FUD at low prices, what was like overtaking. And now we look back at it and people like, fuck kind of shit just bought there, right? So yeah, if you don't have a good entry, then there are no profits for you to take. So somebody else will take that profit, right? Because your entry is too high. And then you will write it down again. Stop blaming the market. Stop blaming the market, right? But to answer the question, I think more people have that question though. What if there won't be an alt season? Look, again, a lot of coins, they already did a 10x or whatever without an alt season. So what if there won't be an alt season? Yeah, then you won't make as much money as you expected, I think. Right? But then again, this market, everybody that says this time is different, this market has wrecked everybody once again, right? So to now still keep on doing that, like, well, everything is playing out again. But what if there's no alt season? It's good to keep it in mind, though. That's always great. Like, keep in mind worst case scenario, etc. But don't be like, well, there won't be an alt season. Like, has this market not showed you that it's playing out all over once again? The fact that you are even considering that there won't be an alt season, is that not a very good reason for the market to give you an alt season? Right here as well, the sentiment here was terrible. What if there's no alt season? It wasn't even a question, right? It was just like, there's not going to be an alt season. It's over. It's dead. Institutions, alts are dead. Bitcoin only run, and then bam, alt season, right? We need that sentiment first. Why? Well, if everybody is bullish on altcoins, everybody already bought, and then the chart would not be that low, so it cannot pump that hard, right? So, of course, there cannot be an alt season without people being bearish on it. So keep in mind that if you are so bearish on it and so doubtful, that that's maybe exactly the confirmation that you need, right? And therefore, this market might take a little bit longer, right? And the last market took a little bit longer than the one before that, right? People start to realize like, hey, I'm bearish, so it might happen right now. It might actually work out, right? And therefore, they maybe don't panic sell. The altcoin market didn't nearly went down as hard as the last cycles, right? This is a very good cycle for alts, actually, right? So people are not selling off that hard. So, of course, it takes a little longer. It's now more time capitulation instead of price. Next cycle, it will be fucking terrible, probably, when it comes to that, right? But if you learn from it now, then you don't have to be in that camp. You just know, like, buy Bitcoin, stick to it for, like, at least, like, 3 years, and then get into quality alts, right? It is all playing out so far again. Everything. It's nuts. It is nuts. But the danger is that you don't believe it, don't believe it, don't believe it. Like, just like it, don't believe it, don't believe it, don't believe it. Capitulate. And then it's happening and you'll be like, oh yeah, it's happening, right? what's the point here? What's the point to start believing here? Only the people that believe here, they will profit from it, right? Like, so it will always be hard, right? The only way for you to make money in crypto with this is to say, fuck it. Everybody's bearish. It looks dead. It's terrible. I'm going to buy. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable, but you will never get a comfortable buy and a lot of profits afterwards. Never, right? So, hey, guys, looking fantastic, man. It really is looking good out there. It really, really, really looks good out there. Whatever going to happen short term, I have no clue, but it's beautiful. Yeah, and I'm going to sell. Already sold Eldora. Eldora went down like crazy. There was a lot of FUD. And I had actually no idea, like, is it dead? Is it not? I don't know. My bag wasn't worth much anymore here. So I was like, let me hold on to it. And I just saw the pump happening. And today I woke up and I was like, dude, again, crazy. So today I sold all my Eldora from these lows. It did a 21x. It's nuts. Like, therefore as well, might have been dead as well. But overall, it shows you like, hey, the dead coins are the coins that are going to make you money. So if you ever feel like this is dead, yeah, maybe you're right. But on the other hand, that's also the way to make money, right? But I sold it. Why? It just did a 21x. Like, there will be a retrace at some point, I would say. If not, also fine. But I at least sold after this move. But yeah, no, I need to buy a house. We found our dream house, and I need to take money out of crypto. And unfortunately, quite a lot. But, you know, mostly going to take out cash because I had a good cash position, luckily. So I'm going to do that. But I think it's around 50% of my crypto bag that I have to sell. Probably hear that next week if I need to do that. And yeah, that's fine, right? I'm in good profit. So if I talk about selling in the coming week or whatever, then you now know, like, that's not because I think that the market topped out, but it's just like, hey, I had a goal. I can now achieve my goal. So why, like, not, right? Like, it's a fucking house. It's a beautiful home. Like, that's my goal. So I'm going to do that. Overall, I will keep riding this thing up, man. And once the bear market comes, we're going to be bearish. Like, that's what it is. And next cycle, hopefully, we're going to do it even better. So I want to leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you like the video. Let me know down below what's your strategy. What do you believe? What's your rotation? I really am curious how people are playing it. From people in the Alpha Factory, I know. So if you're there, then great job. Most people are doing fantastic over there. If you're not, fuck, come over. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you soon.